Lizotola min hamiba Mekuteret mor levona Libatini achoti kala Ani ledodi ledodi בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני העם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
נקבלה Shabbat Shalom. Let's go to page 10, and we'll sing a psalm that says, welcome to all of us to be here sitting together, singing and enjoying our Shabbat. Here we go. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Let's do that again. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Okay, so we've got a little singing, our bodies moving a little bit, warming up a little, and now I'd like to invite the Mulheims to come forward, Lauren and Eric, to light our candles this evening for Shabbat. We're on page 2 for the Shabbat candle lighting blessing. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Hi, 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 almost. Hi, 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 hi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So we've come to that moment after the candles are lit and the light of Shabbat is in the room. We've sung a little bit. In this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, there was a whole section on damages. For instance, if you have an ox and the ox bites you and it's in the habit of biting, then you're responsible for it. If you leave a pit in the middle of the street and someone walks into the pit, you're responsible for it. And there's a whole bunch of, this whole section are all these anecdotes about how you might be responsible for your actions. And I was thinking about this moment when we enter into Shabbat, and usually we just kind of go through our week. But I thought this week, maybe we could think about what we've done. What are the actions that we've taken this week? Are you satisfied with the way you were? Did you feel you might not have lived up to your own expectations of yourself? Was there something that happened that surprised you, that you did? Typically, I like to think of it as the things that happened to you, but let's kind of turn it around this evening and make it about the way we acted this week and who we were and whether we did take responsibility for the things that we'd done, whether we were honest with ourselves or not. So let's just take a Chazarat HaShavua, a review of the week, for your own actions. And we'll just take a minute. So let's continue to celebrate Shabbat. Page 20. L'chadodi. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm the cantor, okay? So I require that everybody in the room sings with, all right? So, okay. We're on page 20, L'chadodi. 1-5 and the last verse. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nikabe, ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת nikabela. Let's go to verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, 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 daberi, kivod Adonai, anayich nigla. Yai lai lai, la 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 la, lecha dodi. Ya la 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 la, likrat kala. Ya la 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 la, k'menei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Let us rise and face the entrance as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola. תוך אמני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאי לי לי, אלה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבל. Let's go to page 28 as we get to the main section of our prayers. We begin with the Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 ra 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 na na na, ya ra 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 ra. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. seated. So I'm going to call your attention as we're about to sing the Shema. I'm always caught by these kind of atoms on this ark. And the Shema, to me, that's one of the images that comes into my mind with the Shema. It's kind of like the interconnectedness of all things kind of moving around each other, and that's what life is, and that we're on this planet, and there's others in other places, and everything is just... I'm choosing blue just because it matches my eyes, but this whole idea that we're surrounding each other, that we're involved with each other, that everything in the universe is connected, that to me is what the Shema is about. So let's go to page 34. We close our eyes if you're comfortable. And we sing about this oneness that we're a part of. Here we go. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Vayed. Let's move now to page 40. Words we read just 2 weeks ago in this space. Micha Mocha, the words that the Israelites sang as they crossed the sea. Let's try to bring that joy into this space. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo sefer, norati lo sefer, mahalechotecha ra'u v'necha, bokei hayam לפני משה ומרים, זה העליינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל. Let's go to 42 now. This is a song for us as we go to sleep this evening, but even now, nighttime is a vulnerable time. So we think about receiving peace. We think about having just a little more peace in our bodies and our minds right now than we did 5 minutes ago, or tonight and tomorrow. A little more peaceful than we were this week. So we ask for a shelter of peace to come over us as we go out here this evening, as we go into our homes, and we go about our day during Shabbat. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Let's try that again. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. In the indented section. Ushmot Zeitenu Uvoecha לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Before we get to the Amidah, we're gonna take a moment to think about those people that are in our hearts and minds tonight because they're in need of healing. So we go to page 253, and there's two parts to this blessing. I actually feel like the first part of the blessing is the most important because it says, may I have the strength to be with the people that need me. And then I'll gather the names, come around and gather names. I'll try to make eye contact with everybody. I have a list of names from the congregation. And we'll take all these names, bring them into our hearts, and sing on behalf of all of those who are in need. Misha Berach, middle of the page. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say Amen. In our congregational family, we think about Pamela Abraham and Karen Altman, Alan Block, Brandon Bloomston, Bracha Liba Bat Reuven Chaim, Jill Kahn, Taylor Carter, Rabbi Jerry Ram Cutler, Gemma Del Duca, Eitan Chaim, Elisheva Chava Bat Zalman Haran, Leah Miriam, Judy Fenton, Wendy Fisher, Eric Innocenti, Dora Rachel Krem Solomon, Renee Kumitz, Jay Lehrer, Stephen Lipschultz, Greg Lombardo, Yvonne Lovis, Dick Macht, Rivka Batzvi Shendel, Howard Rosen, Reuven Ben Mordechai Venachama, Lindy Sobel, Marvin Sobel, Mabube Soleimani, Rose Ugalnik, Helena Wachtel, Yehudit Bat Nechama Mordechai, Howard Zellico, and Brian and Linda Zussman. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Let's turn back now to 46. We've reached the Amidah, our own personal prayers. Let's start together and say, may the thoughts and ideas in my mind and in my heart come into my mouth so that I can say the things I need to say and pray what I need to pray. So let's rise together, say that line, and then you can go silently to page 62, and when you're done with prayers and they see door or prayer from your thoughts, you may be seated, and we'll continue on in a moment. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Let us end the Amidah on page 60. Whenever we end this section of the service, we end with a prayer for peace. Peace over us, peace over all of Israel, and peace over the world. Shalom Rav, 60. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Tasim leolam, tasim leolam, tasim leolam. Bill Schmidt, thank you so much, Bill. We're so fortunate in Los Angeles that we have an incredibly large Jewish community that has so many kinds of services for Jews. I don't mean prayer services. I mean all kinds of services no matter where you are in your life. And one of the beautiful relationships that we have is with Sinai Memorial. What's the full title? Mount Sinai Memorial Park and Mortuary and Parties. It's a very long title. But we have Randy Schwab here this evening, who is the general manager in charge of everything that happens over at Mount Sinai Memorial Parks. And it's wonderful that we can share Shabbat and we can share our lives together. Also, Mount Sinai also supports us in our, we have a special service that we do for little kids, and Mount Sinai is like the sponsor of that program that we have. Is it once a month, once every 6 weeks or so? It's about that, that we have out in the yard. It's called Shabbat in the Yard, and it's a wonderful way for kids to get introduced to Shabbat and have their own experience. But I'd like to invite Randy Schwab to come forward and speak to us about what is a really very, very important subject. I'll continue talking as you're walking up so that you can get here. A really important subject, and that is plan. Plan. Now. I'll start with that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it. Shabbat Shalom. It's really a pleasure for me to be with you here this evening. You know, as general manager of Mount Sinai, I have a responsibility to lead an organization that honors decedents, but also, most importantly, cares for families. I have the opportunity to speak at synagogues throughout Los Angeles about what we do and how we do it. And many of you might not know, but we are a 501c3. And with that status, we actually return to the community our profit or our surplus in 501c3 speak. And last year we gave out over $1 million to synagogues and Jewish organizations throughout Los Angeles, of which your temple was a recipient of one. The rabbi mentioned in this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, we learn about kind of the nitty-gritty of civil law, the practical things that govern our society. And one of the most famous things that he mentioned was this idea of the open pit. And the Torah tells us that if a man opens a pit or digs a pit and doesn't cover it, and something falls into the pit, the owner of that pit has to make restitution. But on the surface, you know, that law is really about negligence. It's about that if we look deeper, it's really about advanced planning. I know you ask, how do I tie those two together? I'm going to tell you. So an uncovered pit is a metaphor for any situation that we leave unfinished or hazardous for those who follow. So when it comes to end of life, many of us, out of fear or discomfort, leave our pit uncovered. See how we tied that together? We avoid the conversation about planning because it's uncomfortable. But by failing to plan, we leave our families to kind of navigate this dark and difficult time. During the greatest moment of grief, they're forced to make these kind of high-stakes financial and often emotional decisions within hours of loss, often wondering, you know, is this what they would have wanted? Can we afford this? Should they be laid to rest in a Jewish cemetery? I happen to think that's the ultimate commitment to our faith. And in Mishpatim, the Torah reminds us that if we take ownership of our pits, advance planning our funeral arrangements, arranging for cemetery property, the creation of an ethical will, an advanced health care directive, these are all the ultimate acts of covering the pit. It's the final gift of clarity. It ensures that when the time comes, our children and spouses aren't falling into the hole, if you will, of stress and confusion. Instead, they're standing on solid ground because they are the recipients of the arrangements that we have made. So there's an old Jewish custom that says purchasing a burial plot is a segula, a good omen for a long life. Why? Because it demonstrates that we are actually at peace with our mortality. By planning today, we remove a future burden from our loved ones, allowing them to focus not on logistics, but on memory, love, and the celebration of the life we led. If you don't mind, I'd like to share just a little personal story. So my father-in-law passed away 3 years ago. My wife's family had no idea what to do. Yes, they had cemetery property. Good, they planned ahead at Hillside, but did not realize that they now had to plan the funeral. What did Dan want? Tahara? Having a shomer? What kind of casket? All things no one wanted to talk about. We even got into an interesting discussion as to whether he'd be buried in a shroud or in his Michigan blue sweater. Go blue it was. Different family members had different ideas. That was the problem. The lack of an open conversation in advance led to 2 hours that would have been much better spent talking about Dan, what an amazing man he was, what he had accomplished, and the legacy that he was leaving. I wonder, by a show of hands, how many people have thought about making arrangements? Great. Now that you've thought about it, how many actually did? A little fewer. How many have written an ethical will? Do people know what an ethical will is? For those of you who don't know what an ethical will is, picture, how a will distributes your assets. But it doesn't talk about maybe your greatest asset, the asset of what you want to transmit to those who survive you, what the morals and ethics of your life are, what you hope that they become, how they lead or might lead their life. That's what an ethical will is. And you can do it in so many different ways. You can write a song, you can write a poem, you can write it down, you can videotape it. You can do it in the privacy of your own home, just yourself, or you can do it with a loved one. But it's really something that translates to those around you what you stood for. And I think that that's something that we should all take a moment when you have time to just think about, maybe to do. I know that the rabbi and I have talked about what would it be like to lead a program on an ethical will one morning. So we'll see, maybe we will. So I'm really here tonight to tell you that the greatest gift that we can give to each other is the gift of time, of using time in ways that matter most. Think about how each of you want to spend that time when our hearts ache, when we have just lost our spouse, a parent, or God forbid, a child. Don't spend it on logistics. Spend it on memories of being present to support each other. Now, every time I speak, people have questions. We have a few minutes now, or we can do it later, privately, one-on-one. But I'm just here to help you with making planning easier. I have something called a memorial record guide. It's just a document that you keep at home, and you just notate all the things that you wish at the time that you would be passing, what you would like for your service, what matters to you most. It costs absolutely nothing. It's just a way to memorialize your wishes. So if you'd like one, see me after the service, I'll give you one. They're completely free. You can keep them yourself. You can give them to a loved one to hold on to. You can give them to your attorney. You can do whatever you like. But I feel really strongly that you have to take a moment to make sure that you know that what you want is going to be carried out. So with that said, may we all be blessed with long lives, and may our foresight bring peace to our homes and to our descendants. I thank you for allowing me just a few minutes to talk to you this evening, and Shabbat Shalom. Barry. Okay.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's turn it on. Test. Better?
Watch.
All right. Thank you, Randy.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know Randy, I've known Randy for a long time. From Jewish Big Brothers and Camp Max Strauss,
Right.
Camp Waldorf. And Sue and I had been talking for years about getting a plot and taking that burden off of our kids should our time come in an untimely fashion. So I called Randy, and we were looking or thinking of Eden and Hillside and Mount Sinai. And I will tell you two things. Not only we called Randy, and he took us around to the different areas to give us some choices and have us find where we felt most comfortable. And we had specific considerations that we were thinking of. But there is absolutely no pressure when you go to like a Mount Sinai, whether you want to have a plot there, what type, the coffin, I mean, all the things that were important. And Randy is such a gentleman. He speaks tonight, and you could just tell he's got a beautiful soul. But that's really what it's all about when you work with a professional like at Mount Sinai when you're looking for your plots. And I will tell you, afterwards when we bought them, and we did, Sue and I felt so wonderful that we took this burden off of our kids. That's really the most important thing in their greatest time of grief, in losing a parent, let's say. You don't want them going there, having to deal with color, size, and, do you want it gold-plated or pine or what have you? We made all those decisions, Sue and I. So I want to thank you and your team there at Mount Sinai. They made this sort of challenging experience as comforting as possible. So thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Barry.
And my question is...
He doesn't have to ask any question. This is perfectly fine just where he is.
I just wanted to say, isn't that true? Oh, but of course.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
Two things. The space in the park is beautiful. There's a new space that's at the park that's where we decided we wanted to be. And again, what Barry was saying was, you get the tour, if you will, and then you choose, where you want to be. There are lots of benches. Bottom line is that it really was an easy time to make those decisions when it could have been very difficult. You made that process much easier.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Okay.
I mentioned something that I had wanted, and now I've decided I want to change that. So I guess I need to come in and make an appointment with you.
Sure.
Is that how that process
Or
works?
we can do it over the phone.
Okay, great.
So
Wonderful.
that brings up a point. And I think the question is, just because you have plans. What happens when life circumstances change? You wake up on a Monday morning and decide, I thought I wanted Tahara, now I don't. I thought I was going to live in Los Angeles forever, and now I'm going to move to some other location. Whether it's Mount Sinai, whether it's any place else. All of this is changeable. You know, whatever your arrangements are, I mean, Mount Sinai happens to purchase back all of its property that we sell. Funeral arrangements can always be transferred or cashed out. Like, none of it is a burden that you have to say, oh my gosh, but what if something changes? It's very easy to change, and it's as simple as picking up the phone and we'll talk next week. I would also like to say that, you know, I'm of an age where I'm helping to care for my mother-in-law, and I have kids. I guess that's called the sandwich generation. So we're in between. And for those of you who are in my situation or younger, just having a conversation with your parents. What are their wishes? It doesn't have to be about your wishes only. Prod them a little bit to make sure that they have thought about it. What a tragedy it would be if they wanted something and you didn't know. So, anybody else have a question? Oh, I'm sorry, please.
Hi, thank you for your presentation.
Sure.
So I have a will and a trust.
Great.
My question is, but I do not have an ethical will, and so I appreciate what you said tonight about it. Is a lawyer connected with it at all, or is a lawyer just for distribution?
A lawyer is connected with your assets.
All of that,
Your
right.
ethical will is between you and you, or your rabbi, or some counselor, somebody who, if you need support to write this, to formulate in words what is in your heart, those are the best people. But no, on an ethical will, no attorneys necessary. It's really about what you want.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and if you want, I have some sheets I could give you that could kind of set it up for you and so you understand a little bit, and it has examples of how you can do it and all of that.
Going back to what you said a minute ago.
Sure.
3 years ago, my 97-year-old mother passed away, and a few years before that,
Right.
she sat down with me one day and said, this is what I'd like to do, this is who I'd like to have speak, this is
Right.
what this, and these are the people, and da-da-da, and spelled out everything. And it made it so much easier, you know, and when the time came, I just went to the file
Yep.
and went straight by what she had requested.
Right.
And so I just want to reinforce what you said about.
And the good news is, if you have cemetery property at either Mount Sinai or Hillside or Eden, as you mentioned, you can also send that document to any of the parks. They'll keep it digitally in an electronic file, so at the time of need, you're not, where did I leave that paper? It's somewhere here. But we all keep them. There's certainly no cost to that. It's just a way to make sure that you honor what their wishes are.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I just wanted to frame it just a little bit differently, quickly, and that is, I was thinking that the three things you were talking about are the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. The physical is the directive, right? If something happens to me physically, this is what I want to happen physically. And by the way, my father, who passed pretty recently, had the most incredible directive, and it made it so much better for all of us. Like, we didn't have any decisions to make with him physically and medically. So that's the directive. I think the funeral arrangements, I think that comes the emotional part. It's very difficult when someone passes away and you're left behind. It's incredibly emotional. Your mind isn't in the right spot. And helping the people that you leave behind, that's an emotional thing, right? And then spiritually, that to me is the ethical will. is what is it that I want to pass on after I'm gone to my children, grandchildren, what are the words that I would want them to take? What are the feelings that I've had about life? What have I learned from life? However I want to pass that down. That to me is like my spiritual realm. So if you think of it that way, it's the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual that you're taking care of by doing all of these things beforehand. I don't know, as you were saying that, I was thinking, wow, it really does kind of fit in those three places.
And I know that you mentioned that you have a document. We have a little workbook at Mount Sinai. I'm happy to send it to you for an ethical will. It literally asks you questions to make sure that you're thinking, not just what quickly comes to mind, but also probing you a little bit more of things to consider. So I'm happy to share that with you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
You got applause. That doesn't happen all the time either. No, really. I mean, it's so important. It's something every one of us experiences, and to get ahead of it is very, very, very important. Okay, let's go to page 282, our concluding prayers. Please rise for Aleinu. 282. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. We're on 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated for a moment, please. If we can go to page 294. On 294 is Kaddish Yatom. If you look on the screen here, it's the list of those in our congregational family who have died at this season in years past. And before we say Kaddish, I know there are those here that you are mourning. And so I'd like to ask if there's anyone in Shiva, Shloshim, or the first year after the death of a loved one to please stand. And as I acknowledge you, tell us the names of the people you're here to say Kaddish for. Is there anyone observing a yahrzeit on this Shabbat, if they'd like to stand and tell us who you're here to say Kaddish for?
My father, Richard Siegler, my grandfather, Henry Siegler, and my great-grandfather, Morris. My mother, Margaret Herman. My wife, Beverly's mother's Esther Stein and Kay Stein. My father, Jack Bernstein.
We add to those names those in our congregational families who have died on this Shabbat in years past is Bertha Barr, Philip Berman, Jack Bernstein, Ruth Birnbaum Schwartz, David Brooke, Larry Allen Feinstein, Gertrude Vivian Friedman, Pat Gordon, Judith Nissenbaum, Richard Michael Ross, Richard Siegler, Esther Stein, Faye Stein, and Avishag White. Let us now rise as a congregational family. We say Kaddish Atom for those who have no one to say it for them. And we say Kaddish for all of those that have died in the violence of our recent times in this world. Let's say together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalah u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lolamei olamaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemei tukudasha berichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to every living being on this planet. And we say, amen. You may be seated. I have a couple of announcements. Let's see if this works. First of all, Shushan Idol. This is our Purim spiel. We have two. We have one for families and kids, and there's going to be a big party, and that's going to happen on the 27th at 5:30 on a Friday evening. And then Monday evening, which is actually Purim, we're going to have our adult Purim with some special beverages. And there are still some openings if anyone would like to participate in the spiel, if you can sing. It kind of is a prerequisite that you can keep a melody. You don't have to sing well, but if anyone's interested in participating, please join us. Should be fun. Whoop. We have Yom Chesed, which is our mitzvah day, which is on March 1st. It's actually the day, that's that night. Maybe it's the first that we're doing Purim on that Sunday night at 5:30, not Monday night at 5:30. But during the day, we have the Day of Kindness. This is the day where we try to do lots of mitzvot for the city involving food and involving clothing and involving putting together baskets for people. We have a lot of activities that are going on at the temple. If you have interest, you can go to our website or you can give us a call and we can make sure you're on one of the lists to be able to participate in the many, many activities we have going on that day. Next week, February 20th at 6:15, we're at Factors. So if you want to come have dinner together, share a Shabbat meal, it's very lovely. It's been great. We've been doing it since the end of last summer, yeah, and it's been fantastic. So please join us next week. Actually, if you have little kids, we meet at 5 for the little kids because they have to go to sleep earlier. So if you know young families, they come at about 5, and then we have a second seating at 6:15. In 1 month from now, we're going to have a guest speaker, a scholar in residence. It's all going to be about Moses Maimonides. If you want to learn about Maimonides, there are going to be 3 or 4 opportunities to be able to learn about him, one of the greatest thinkers ever. So join us for that. That's really in 1 month. And we have our retreat on May 22nd to 24th. Please join us for it. It's going to be fantastic out in Simi Valley at Brandeis Bardeen. And that's it. I love doing announcements. Are you ready for our final song, Bill? Let's see if we know it. Let's stand if you're comfortable with putting your arm around the person next to you so we can do Jewish swaying, which always happens. Let's sing Oseh Shalom together. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Yaseh Shalom aleinu, ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. If you can bring that up, Sarah. Baruch atem b'voechem. Baruch atem b'tzeitchem. You're blessed as you came into this space, and may you be blessed as you go. And I forgot to bring this in for Randy. We have a little gift from the congregation that we can give to him as our gift for coming by. It's not $1 million or anything like that. Yeah. But thank you again, Randy, for that inspirational talk, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful Shabbat.